Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in again. So, what is SEO? You've probably heard this term thrown around and wondered exactly what it is. Well, SEO is one of the terms that refers to search engine marketing. It's the search engine optimization part of things. So it's fixing your website so that it's optimized for search engines. That's essentially all it is. I personally prefer the term SEM, which is search engine marketing, because that's the part that every business should be interested in. It's not so much the optimization part, it's the marketing part. You probably, don't take your car in to get optimized, you take it in to get repaired, right? So that's essentially the difference, but really it comes down to the same thing. SEO is just part of the process of getting your website or your online, landing pages, whatever it happens to be that you're worried about marketing. It's getting that online tool ready for search engines. Now, this encompasses a lot of different things. So we get clients all the time that are, learning about search engines and how they work, how they function, and they ask us all the time what exactly happens behind the scenes with the nuts and bolts when it comes to search engines and how do these things work, what makes them tick, how do I change or tweak my website so that it actually shows up well in search engines. Well, the reality is there is no exact formula. Anyone who tells you that there is lying to you, and in fact companies like Google, for example, they even state on their websites in various places that any company that promises or guarantees top 10 results should not be trusted, because the only person or company, I should say, that really can guarantee those positions in the coveted Google spaces is Google. And Google's not going to tell you exactly what their formula is, because they want to make sure that they keep that recipe hidden and secret so that they can focus on delivering top results for their users without having those results be manipulated by third parties. Basically, imagine if you were able to know exactly key by key what sort of buttons to push or steps to take from let's say like a Google undercover agent was to tell you exactly what to do, and you were able to apply this to any website that you wanted and get it to appear number one. Well, that's putting a lot of power into the hands of just one person, and you're able to do a lot of good with that, but also it could be that you do a lot of bad with it. So a lot of the formula and the algorithms is actually protected, heavily guarded, to ensure that there is some integrity to the search results. And really, that's how search engines work. The big question is, how do they work? What do they do? Basically you just type something in and then instantly you're shown all these results. Well, in that couple milliseconds, there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's also a lot of things happening beforehand for Google to help categorize and place these websites for different keywords, keyword phrases, sentences, and so on. So really, in a nutshell, search engines work on relevancy. Everything is about relevancy. If your website's not relevant for that particular search phrase, keyword, term, whatever you want to call it, Google's not going to rank you highly for that term. Imagine a library. So you walk into a library and you're looking for a particular book. Let's say you're looking for a book on aerospace engineering. Well, any book that's going to be categorized there is going to have to follow a set of rules. It's going to have to be categorized in obviously nonfiction, unless this is obviously a book fiction related, but in most cases this would be more sort of an educational book, I would imagine. So it's going to be in that sort of section. So it's going to follow some rules as to where it's categorized. The book itself is going to be written in a certain way and have certain identifiers to put it in certain places. So it'll have certain pages that sort of list what this book is about, and that helps the people that are placing that book figure out where to place it in the library. And it's very similar with search engines. So your website acts in a similar way, where on your website, if you want to show up for a particular search term, you're going to have to put those search terms on your website. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you don't, you're going to have a very, very, very difficult time ranking for those search terms. Google's essentially wanting to make sure that your website is relevant for those search terms to deliver the high quality results that users are looking for. Furthermore to that, endorsements help a lot. So when there's things like, link building that you've probably heard of, and generating links, you want to avoid the spammy stuff where it's link farms or just really poor quality links. You really want to generate high quality links, and you can do so through reputable websites. Where you live probably has several news outlets that have reputable blogs or articles being posted, things like that. And if you can get a feature story there with links back to your website, those links are going to be worth their weight in gold. And this is what we refer to whenever we talk about link building. It's those kinds of links that come from third parties that say, yes, this website is about this particular subject and it should be indexed for this particular subject, and then they link to it with those keywords. Google's going to crawl all of those websites and it's going to say, hey, we found 15 links that come back to your website. They're from reputable sources that talk about a particular subject. Your website talks about that subject also. All the pieces start to match up and Google's going to move you up in the ranks. Now, when it comes to relevancy, your website needs to be relevant, but it also needs to be more relevant than what's already there. Most Google searches display some sort of result. There are a lot of searches that you can perform that yield very little results or poor results, but most searches will yield some sort of result. What happens when they yield a result is you got to take a look at what shows up for those searches. If what's there is already extremely relevant, well, you need to make sure that your site is more relevant by getting higher integrity links, by getting more links, by getting articles published, by doing guest blogging. There's things called social bookmarking services. Even just anything social really helps a lot because Google is looking for that fresh factor. They're also looking for a lot of user engagement, activity. If there's people talking about the subject that your website's related to, they're talking about your business. So much as like even Google Places, well now Google Businesses, with reviews and so on and so forth about your business. These things all contribute, and there really are a lot of factors. There's more than 200 of them that contribute to where your website is placed within the Google ranking. And on most pages, we know that there are 10 listings, but quite often nowadays there's 3 spaces taken up by the ads. So really we're talking about the 7 listings below that. So if you're fighting for those 7 spaces and you're competing against all those other people, that's where it can be problematic to be more relevant in some industries. Not impossible, just more challenging. So it'll take a lot more work. A lot of this stuff you can do on your own. There's some great resources online. You should check out an individual named Matt Cutts. He works directly for Google and he provides a lot of valuable insight and resources into how Google works, what's coming down the tube next from Google, how their search engines categorize and place websites. And that information is free and at your disposal. So please do check that out. And also, of course, you can give us a call and you can speak with myself, you can speak with another member of my team, and we'll be able to break things down with some clarity for you so that you can finally understand how search engines work in terms of integrating with your marketing campaign. It definitely is something that you should look into. Personally, for several of our own sister companies that I've helped set up over the years, I do know that the minute we start ranking well in Google, our traffic just spikes through the roof and our sales do increase substantially. So there are a lot of firms out there that'll we'll do SEO for $100 a month. You're really not going to see any serious kind of return. But the clients that we've worked with, we've been able to generate some significant returns for them and deliver some real value for the money that they're spending every month with us. So give us a call. We can definitely do the same for you. We'll be able to help you out there. And a lot of this too, to keep costs down, you can play an active role yourself and participate in your own search engine marketing and SEM and SEO. You can do that through blogging and so on and so forth. And it really doesn't have to be anything, you're not trying to win a Pulitzer Prize here or something. It can be as simple as just, you had a great customer interaction. Well, you can blog about that every week, dealing with different issues within your business. And as long as you have the right keywords within these articles, it's going to help your ranking one way or the other. On that note, when it comes to search engines and blogs, we always try and recommend clients to use longer keyword phrases because Google is getting more sophisticated. They are analyzing now whole sentences and seeing how those words play together. The closer they are in proximity to each other, the closer that one sentence is to another sentence, so on and so forth. It all plays a role, and they've got some very, very, very intelligent and sophisticated engineers working on these algorithms. So really, if you can start to plug in more of those longer sentences that people are searching for. A great example I always use is, gone are the days where it's just, lawn mowing Ottawa or lawn mowing Toronto. Someone's actually searching for, I need my lawnmower fixed. And that becomes their whole search in Google. And Google's got to take that and somehow line up the pieces and display lawn mowing repair companies that can help fix this person's lawnmower so they can get back to cutting their lawn. And so if you have on your website somewhere about, call us if you want to have your lawnmower fixed, having that whole sentence is going to match up more closely than someone who just has lawnmower plus the geographical region that they're in. So having those kinds of keyword phrases on your website can help tremendously as well. And a great way to implement those in a way that looks natural and not forced to Google is through blogging. So highly recommended blogging. If you don't have one, get one set up. We can assist with that process as well and get you set up with a professional blog as well as some content writing that people will actually read, because that's a big thing too, is that it's not just about the search engines and the robots. I'm sure you don't wake up and say, geez, my business dream is to be #1 in Google. No, your business dream is to run your business and make sure that your business is a success, and SEO and SEM is just one of the tools that can help get you there. So I'm sure you don't really have, big plans of starting to blog every day or every 2 days, whatever the case may be. If that's going to be a strain on your time, just give us a call and we can help you out with that and make sure that those things get done for your business, because they are necessary, but it doesn't take you away from the focus of where you need to be. All right, talk to you soon. That's all for today. Thanks.